What's coming out of your mouth? What's coming out of your mouth? What's coming out of your mouth? It's Shay and Peach. Check him out, check him out. It's Shay and Peach. We're gonna get started. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the special episode of What's Coming Out of Your Mouth, the Kickback edition. I am your host, Pete Fairley. I have a distinguished group of young men assembled here tonight. At this time, I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves.
Okay, well, I guess I'll get it started. My name is Mariel Hardy. I'm currently residing in Clarksdale, Mississippi. I have the honor and privilege of serving as Chief Communications Officer at Kahoma Community College, a small little HBCU in the Delta. We're a little school, but we're doing big things. I'm enjoying what I do. I'm glad to be here tonight.
Oh, okay.
All
Just had to
right.
put that shameless plug in.
Do that thing then.
My name is Brandon Anderson, proud native, Jackson, Mississippi. Currently, I'm teaching in the hyper department at Jackson State, and I'm just glad that you invited me on to be a panelist tonight.
Good evening, Terrence Hill. Currently residing in Jackson, Mississippi, born and raised in Jackson. Assistant principal at Pecan Park Elementary School in the Jackson Public School District. It's a pleasure, and I'm ready to get started tonight.
All right. This is my great pleasure to have you young men on here tonight. This is my first edition of the Kickback, so it should be fun. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to get started right out the gate. My first question for you guys is, what have you learned during the corona? What have you guys learned during the corona? What is something you have learned during this time in the corona?
Yeah, I guess for me, I consider myself a conservative woke person. So I'm not one of those people that's, all over the place or fanatic. But you see
Right.
how, things that were, that you had to pay for, internet has become free, and
Yeah.
available. Resources have become available. So, we have this standard in America that, capitalism, everything has a dollar amount attached to it. So one of those big takeaways is that, we could live in a world where more is available, especially to low income people. And also, I've learned that relationships matter when you're away from your family. You're not able to even see your coworkers. Those one-to-one relationships, closely and personally, really, really matter.
So what would you with you saying that, what have you took from this, and what do you think the world should take from it?
Well, I think one thing that the world needs to take that is life is super precious. So many people are losing their lives with this pandemic. And one thing I wish more of our community, in all honesty, would take from it is a level of seriousness. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I rode by and folks are at the park right now chilling like nothing is going on. But until it affects them, it doesn't matter. Until
Right.
grandmama dies of COVID, it doesn't matter. So I just wish we would take it a little bit more serious.
Take it a little more serious. Okay, we're gonna move on. What about you, Mr. Anderson? What is something you've learned during this COVID-19 experience?
I'm actually going to piggyback off of Mariel. He touched on relationships do matter. One thing that I'm taking away from this time right now is to appreciate the small things, like those small interactions, the small gestures, just greeting people. And also personally for me, I'm very busy. I like to get things done. And for me, I've learned tremendously that stillness is a virtue. And
Whoa.
personally for myself in this time is really, I've really been able to just kind of just sit with myself, reflect with myself. And I've just learned that the more I'm still, the quieter I become, and the quieter I become, the better I listen. And
Okay. What is one nugget you would give to the world then to take that they should take from this?
Sometimes quarantines and just periods of time of slowness and stillness, like it's necessary. Sometimes you need to take a break. Sometimes you just need to just sit with yourself and just reflect on where you are, create a more of a vision of what you want for yourself and how you're going to move forward in that.
Okay. I'm gonna switch it over to Mr. Hill. I'm gonna ask you the same thing. What is something you've learned during COVID-19?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Listen to elders. Growing up, my parents, and specifically my dad, would always tell me these simple little nuggets that I didn't take heed to until now. Certain things like don't wait until your gas tank is on E to go get gas.
Yeah.
When you're at the store, buy more than what you need, just what you need, not excessive amounts. So honestly, when the panic began to happen, the first thing I did was just start educating myself. And I think our community has to do a lot of that. I didn't listen to a lot of what was on social media. I actually started doing my own research because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that myself and my family was in good hands. So just educating myself, listening to my parents, listening to my elders, people who have a wealth of knowledge, and applying it as be.
Okay, what would you give the world? What's one thing you'll give the world, though?
One thing I give the world is I'll pick it up where Brandon left off. Sometimes when we have these moments, we just have to sit back and reflect. Don't go off instinct so much. Educate ourselves, do a lot of reading, do your own research, and then come up with your own conclusions. Like was mentioned earlier, build relationships, and also seek as much knowledge as possible to make sure you're in the best hands as possible.
Well, one thing I like, during this time, it has brought families closer together. Families that some people who have been talking to each other, it's bringing them closer together to be mindful that any day could be your last. You understand? And just like to say, the Lord give it and the Lord take it away. So every little thing we got that we think we did it on our own. He's taking it away slowly. It doesn't matter what tax bracket you in. It doesn't matter what color you is. Right now, this is a pandemic that everyone in the world is going through. You understand? So this is the time we should just sit and be thankful for the things that we do have. Thankful for the family members we do have. Thankful for the friends we do have. Contact them more. All these things. Enjoy time together. We can't go to movies right now. We can't go to a restaurant. These are things we took for granted. Washing our hands. You understand? All the sanitary things we took for granted. But we should be doing these things constantly over and over. Being careful who we're around at all time. So these are some good things that I have took from it. And I just hope that the world realizes this. I think this is a time right now that we're supposed to become more united. More united. It doesn't matter, like I said, how much money you got, what color you are. We're all the same. So I think at this time we should realize that we should become more united as a people. And then this country can move forward. So that's something I took from it. So I'm gonna keep on moving. All you guys consider yourself adults?
Of course.
Right? All you guys would consider yourself adults, right?
Right. Of course.
So the question is, what is something that you've learned by being an adult that you wish you would have learned in your adolescence?
When we got the pre-questions, this was a hard one for me. This was an extremely hard one for me because it's so many things I think about, as a young person, those times where I could have pushed harder as a young person. I didn't take advantage of some of the opportunities that were right there for me. I wasn't the most academically inclined, but when that light hit, I found a way, and I've been able to put myself in a position to be where, if you look back at my past, I should not be. So I guess even with that, and now I feel like, you look around at your peers, I'm playing catch up. You see people that are doing things and doing amazing things, though happy for them. Sometimes you always visualize yourself, man, had I, not have been turning up at homecoming so much, and I just would have been more academically inclined and just push a little bit harder. So I guess for me, it would be a thing of really, really seizing the moment. Because, when you're young, they tell you, oh, you're young.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
oh, you're young, you have time to do that. No, these years are moving by really, really fast. So I think that I really wish I would have taken those opportunities a lot more seriously, been a little bit more focused. And I think that it probably would have positioned me to be even further than I am today. But I'm still thankful for the journey.
So if you was what would you tell your 18-year-old self right now?
I would tell my 18-year-old self right now, I would tell him, hey, Mariella, it's okay. It's okay,
Mm-hmm.
man. You are good enough. You are
Yeah,
good enough.
yeah,
You are smart enough. You
yeah,
know, it's people around me. I used to look at, I'm gonna talk about your sister. Your sister
yeah.
was in those AP classes. They were killing it, and I aspired to be like that group at Raymond High School. That was just
Right,
getting. I was like, man. But in retrospect, I was just as smart as them. I had just as many opportunities as them, and I just should
right.
have taken advantage of it and got on my game and pushed myself onto the finish line. I was standing in my own way, so it would be, Mario, get out of your own way. It's for you to take.
Ooh, I like that, Doc. I like that. What you got, Brandon? Talk to me.
All right. So, what have I learned as an adult that I wish I would share that I wish I would have learned earlier?
Yes, sir.
Simple concept of just being patient with myself. It's a process to everything. And I know growing up, I kind of had my own internal timetable on where I wanted to be at this point and this point and that point. And more so just being okay with trusting the process and being patient with yourself and understanding that you're going to go through things. You're going to have some highs, you're going to have some lows, but keep rocking with yourself and keep pushing and being proactive with where you want to go. That's one nugget that came to me.
Mm-hmm.
And another nugget that came to me was celebrate the small victories in your life. Because a lot of times, well, I speak for myself. I know a lot of times I would put so much weight in wanting to graduate college or get this degree or get this certification, whatever the case may be, that you put all your eggs in one basket, and then once you're done with that, that feeling is so fleeting. And you look back, or 6 months from now, 12 months from now, and it's like, oh, like I'm like it's kind of numb, or it just kind of passed over very quickly. So I feel that the small victories, or sometimes maybe those delayed lessons, or those detours, or however you want to phrase them, those are some of the biggest moments in which you learn the most, you grow the most. And if you celebrate those small victories in your life, it builds your momentum so that when the big ones come, and you just continue to rack up.
So I'm gonna ask him the same question. I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked him.
Go ahead.
If you can look at 18-year-old Anderson,
All right.
what would you say to that young man?
I would tell the 18-year-old version of myself, there are going to be a lot of things that you're going to encounter in your life that are going to try to throw you off balance or get you distracted. But I just want you to just stay focused and just try to stay as close or as aligned as you can with yourself, seeking your purpose and your fulfillment, and go hard at that. Go hard at that, and don't let anyone come in there and try to disrupt that focus. But there's some things that you're just going to have to really focus on in your life to get your fulfillment. And I just tell them to go hard at that.
Go hard. Go hard.
Go hard at that.
Terry, what you got, Doc? Let's go.
Remain steadfast. Something that I pride myself over, in my life. Everybody kind of touched on the basics. You're going to go through trials. You're going to go through tribulations. You're going to go through a series of events that have you question a lot of things. But most importantly, stay true to your craft. Remain confident. I think sometimes when we get off course, we have a tendency to lose track, lose confidence, start questioning and wondering why. But stay true to your craft, most definitely. I saw a quote sometime over this, quarantine trial that stated, if you're the smartest person in the room, leave the room.
Ooh, that's a nugget, boy. Talk to him.
Man, because we always want to challenge ourselves, and sometimes it's human nature that we're in an area of we like to be comfortable, we like to be complacent, we don't like to be challenged, we don't like to be out of comfort. So if I had to have a talk with my 18-year-old self, not saying you don't have your A1 day one friends that you kick it with, but put yourself in a position to learn from others. I'm reading this book called Radical Candor, and one of the things that I didn't do a lot when I was 18, I didn't listen. Of course, I thought I knew everything under the sun, and when I didn't listen to people who had walked the same path or ran the same path that I did, I often found myself making a lot of mistakes that I could have avoided and could have been in a better position today, even though I thank God that I'm where I am today, because I had to go through those trials to get to where I am. But just listening and also surrounding myself around people who could take me higher is something that I really would have wanted to tell myself when I was 18.
Well, when I kind of look back at myself, I was, more on the wild side. I was a wild guy.
No, you wasn't. No, Pete. I don't remember that.
I did a lot of stuff that I maybe shouldn't have been doing. So if I would just look back at myself, I would tell myself to take things more serious, man. Plan things out, go into things with an open mind, and stop. I was just so no one could tell me anything. I thought I knew everything. Everyone was a fool. It was my way or the highway, But if I would have just planned things out, took things a little more serious, even college, I went to college, but college was a party. That's all it was. But, if I would have just took my time, did my lesson, even though I wouldn't turn nothing back because I love the life I lead now. You understand what I'm saying? But if I was talking to my younger self, I would tell him, that take stuff more serious, Now, at this age, I take things more serious, and I give my best effort. But if I could have did it back then, how far I could be, Yeah. But what we go through those things so we can be better now. Would all you guys agree?
I agree. And I think that's where we take opportunities. I know, at least I do. I take opportunities to talk to young men and give them counsel. Now, whether they listen or not, everyone has a story to tell. And I think that's one thing that's lacking, especially gentlemen of our age, is taking a leadership role and really playing an active part in our communities a little bit more. Sometimes we go about our everyday job, doing things, doing good work, accomplishing things, but, taking that extra effort, if a kid sitting here, something wrong with them, hey, what's going on? You'll be surprised. And, me living in an impoverished area, it's kids that don't have food. They might have stolen something because they were just hungry. People don't even know why these kids are making some of these mistakes. So I think that we need to play a more integral role as being young mentors, somebody that's a little bit more relatable than 50-year-old or 60-year-old Joe, though they have the knowledge, but, we have that relatability factor as a big brother type sense.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk on that right there. I think we do miss it a lot at a young age because we're so busy grinding and trying to get to the next level, right? So we need to just stay on the court to help somebody while we in the midst. Sometimes we get past our prime and then we try to reach back. But people need to see you while you in the midst of the fire, doing the job that they aspire to do, right?
Right.
So that's a good thing you said. We need to reach back. We all should have somebody we're trying to mentor in something. We should have some young man we're helping. Because some have sons, some don't. But it should be somebody that you sowing the seed into. Right. I really believe in that. What you guys think about that?
I agree.
I definitely agree. One of the things in my field as an assistant principal, I deal with so many young minds throughout the course of a day, when school was in, but I'm always reaching back, looking at young male teachers. And I
Mm-hmm.
have these text message groups and these group me's, and whenever they have an issue or a problem, or anytime I come across a problem, I will always reach back to them and say, okay, what would you do in this situation? And they'll give me X, Y, Z, and I'll tell them, well, that's what I'm going through now. So I'm
Right.
gonna tell you the solution that I got towards this problem, but I want you to always know that you're gonna encounter a lot of things on this educational journey. Just make sure you're prepared for it, because I think as young black men, we have to start building capacity uh, amongst our black boys, amongst our black teenagers, amongst our younger black men. We're not doing that. Like it was mentioned, we're not going back. We're not helping. We're not lending advice. We live in a microwave generation. Once I get mine, I got mine. You figure out a way to get yours, and we cannot build a village if we have that mindset.
We got to cut that out. We got to get past that. And
Mm-hmm.
and I look at this right here. It's somebody else I try to live by. I try not to go through the same thing that somebody I know before me went through. And if we can get somebody else that's coming behind us not to go through the same thing that we went through, oh, what a better world it could be. Oh, what a better start a black young man could have. And we're not just trying to help black, but we come from the black community, so we should reach back and help ours first, right?
Breaking generational curses.
Oh man, come on now, talk to me.
Yeah, well, it's always a stigma with I come from somewhere low income or impoverished. I can be honest. I didn't come from the richest family, but I didn't come from the poorest either. My family, I didn't have the best clothes, but I never went without anything that I needed.
Right.
But there's a stigma with individuals that come from not so good situations, that they're already counted out. So I think that we need to do a better job of showing individuals that have come from those same neighborhoods, like you said, not reaching back. We get our degrees,
Right.
we get our businesses, and then we move forward, and we never go back to our old neighborhoods. We kind of sold them out, but it'll be good for us to go back to those old neighborhoods, so they can say, well, hey, I'm just like you. I might as well, I lived in that house next door, and look where I am now. So just because you come from somewhere, somebody made a statement. I'm trying to think of it. Your beginning doesn't have to be your conclusion.
Yeah.
Something to that effect. So I think we can do a job of illustrating and showing. We're a visual society. People want to see it. The kids need to see what it looks like to be black, successful, and from maybe a socioeconomically disadvantaged state. But that was their start. But the conclusion was much different.
See, and a lot of times once we become successful, we be afraid to tell people where we come from.
Oh yeah.
We have to keep that in mind. Where you come from is where you come from. We got to stop wearing it as a disjustice and wear it as a badge of honor. I came from that place, and so can you. See, if somebody see that, maybe they'll want to fight out of a situation. We never know what you can do is I came from your place or this or that, what can do for a person when they're in the midst of their storm, And even with you being a principal, you can say, some of these kids do wrong because their situation at home. And sometimes if you can tell them, look, I know you may go through a bad situation, but put a but in there, because some of them don't believe it's a but I can make it. So that's what we gotta try to do to our younger community. Okay, before we keep, anybody else got anything before we move on?
I think we touched on it.
Yeah, y'all hit that hard.
Okay, but before we move on, I just anybody on Facebook, drop an emoji if you out there in Facebook land, share it on your page. Let us keep moving on, and we're gonna switch this thing gears. We're gonna switch gears right here. This question I got right here is Is it important for the man or the woman? Okay, now we finna get down to some real kickback stuff right here. Is it important for the man or the woman to be the leader in a relationship? Now, come on now, talk to me. Come on.
Hmm. Well, I've seen it in both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think that most people in the South, we have a traditionalist mindset. The man
Mm-hmm.
is the breadwinner. He's supposed to take the lead, take the charge, do everything he needs to do in the household. But I know situations where I'm a twist it and make it a little bit more fun. I know women can be very crafty.
Yes,
So
sir.
I know many situations the man thinks he's leading. The woman has allowed him to think that he's leading. And the household is that much more successful because of those efforts. So I think it's whatever works for that household. Sometimes a woman might be needs, to take the lead on certain things.
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. When I was married, I would have, loved for some bills and some things like that to be taken care of, and that, so I didn't have to think about it. So,
Mm-hmm.
I know. So it's just a give and take thing. I think
Mm-hmm.
that it's a partnership. A partnership should flip like a coin.
Mm. Okay, okay. What you got, Mr. Anderson? Talk to me.
Ah. All right, now repeat your question again, just so I make sure I understood it right.
This is the question now. Listen to me now.
Okay, yeah.
Is it important for the man or the woman to be the leader in the relationship?
Okay. Just on the principle of polarity, somebody gonna have to lead, somebody gonna
Yes.
have to follow.
Yeah.
Period.
Oh.
And I think that can be interchangeable depending on different people's situation. I know in some cases there may be men that are more feminine, that may come off as more passive, whereas they have a lady who may come off as more masculine, and she may just have that edge to lead a bit more.
Okay. Let's talk about it right here.
Go ahead.
So, if you're more passive, is you saying that makes you more feminine?
Well, I just think that
I'm
it's all about balance. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You have, like, there are some people out here, both male and female, that may come off as more passive, Yeah.
Now, but so would you direct passive with feminine? That's the question I'm trying to get you to answer.
Not necessarily.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Not necessarily. Okay.
Okay. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But like Maria said, I think it's a part of give and take, and I think with where I am right now and what I'm learning, I do think that if you are a man, I think you are put here to lead.
Yes.
And in that, you have to grow into those roles where you're able to take responsibility, take more accountability for yourself. And in that, what I'm learning is that I think that when we have that structure just within ourselves, women can come in, or whoever partners can come in, and they're more receptive to adjust to that structure and make things flow. Now, that's just my take on it. I think, is it important for a male to be a leader? Absolutely. But then again, it's pending given the situation or the relationship. Whatever works best, you have to find that balance between the two, talk it out, and then move forward and govern yourself accordingly.
Okay. You definitely got to govern yourself accordingly once you put your stake in the ground. Let's go, Doc. Go ahead. Talk to him. Go.
No, one more point is that I think one key attribute in being a leader is knowing when to lead and knowing when to follow.
Ooh.
So it's
I love that.
You have to be able to navigate the two, or just have that communication level or understanding between the two to be able to swap roles when needed. That's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree. Because a good leader, knows when to step back and let somebody else take the lead in that situation. But I'm gonna pass it on to Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill, what you got, Doc?
Everything is pretty much been stated. Both guys hit the nail on the head. Naturally, I think a male is, is the leader of the household. But once again, the world is about balance.
Balance.
Yang, left and right, night and day. In some cases, the female is more equipped to lead. In some cases, the male is more equipped to lead. If you have children, you'll want to be in a household where young boys see their fathers lead, and you'll want to be in a household where young daughters and young girls see their mothers lead. And they also see the other side. They also have to see that a woman, a male, a boy should also see that a woman is capable of leading, and young girls should also see that men are capable of taking a step back. So it's all about balance. It's all about relationships. It's all about putting pride aside, communicate, knowing who is more efficient in what area.
Right.
And I think a lot of our men ego trip.
Yes.
A lot, feeling that if a woman is leading in this capacity, that that I'm less of a man or something like that. No, it's being comfortable within yourself, what works within the household, and making sure that everything is done effectively. As long as you all have that understanding, it's a balance, and you're making it work, then there's no issue. But naturally, I think men should lead, but also all great leaders are great followers as well. Like Brandon said,
oh boy,
back is always key.
I like that. Okay, we got some people saying, let's see what they saying. Y'all dropping good nuggets already. I got some people saying awesome. Somebody said you're 100 on that. To continue with this, what they got to say, the key is definitely having to be able to adjust accordingly. And I want to talk on this one right here. They say, do you think we're getting away from traditional roles in relationships?
Well, I think we're getting away from a lot of roles. You know, I mean, and it's just because of the time change. You know, this isn't when Granddad and Big Mama was living,
Absolutely not.
where minimum wage could support 15 people in the house. So, I mean, you know, it's a day and age. If we want these nice things, inflation. So we you know, we both have to work, but that comes in with adjusting, understanding that you might not always get the hot meal. She's tired as well. So, and I think one key point is that if you're going to be effective as a leader, you have to give her something to lead, to follow, an example to follow. I think that's why a lot of young men fall into these traps and these marriages fail, because they're upset about some things, but what was the example? What was the effort put out there? You gave her nothing to follow, and she would probably be a fool to follow behind somewhere that is leading her down the wrong path. So I think being effective in what they're doing and maintaining those roles in this new age is changing. It is shifting, but making it work is key. And that's, to me, is on a household by household basis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do agree with that. Everything in life is changing, right? All the traditional things we're getting away from. Some traditions should stay the same, but a lot of traditional things we're getting away from. What you think, Mr. Anderson?
Like he said, I think that we're just adjusting to new times. Like life now is different from what it may have been with my grandparents. You know, I think that technology has a huge impact and influence on the way that the newer generation moves. You know, if I think back on my grandparents, they didn't have cell phones. You know, but here it is now. If I were to have kids nowadays, they would be dependent upon a smart device or something in their hand. And I think that in itself is just a huge curve. And it's just more so just kind of comes back to that fundamental of finding that balance of what works, you know, really being able to communicate and still have respect for one another and being able to move forward to make your situation flourish. That's my take.
Agreed.
Yeah,
what you got here?
I definitely agree with both gentlemen. times have brought a change. So, you know.
Okay, I got a question for you. You stay right there. I'm gonna tell. Why does it affect a male ego if the woman is leading or she is appearing superior, for its work wise? Why does it affect the male ego if the woman is bringing more money in, or why does that make it seem like she's the head and he can't take it in a lot of situations? What is going on with us that we can't take a woman making more money than us? But we say we love her now. What's the deal?
I think that goes back to those traditional roles that we talked about. The man it's been ingrained in our psyche that these are the things a man is going to do. A man is, especially a black man, we got to be strong. We don't really supposed to show emotion. We need to be in charge. And we have to handle business, across the plane. So those are things that society has taught us that we have to do. So some men are going to have that ego.
Right.
But sometimes you're in a situation where, and that depending on that household, some young ladies, because of course our young ladies are the most educated group in America, and once they achieve these tiers, they can, in certain situations, have a demasculating effect, depending on how that relationship is. And that is used as a switch and a control mechanism in some relationships. If she's making more money, she can pull that chain.
So you saying if she
That's
making more,
point.
the women are using the money to hold over our head?
I said some.
Some women, okay.
Some women.
I'm just saying, in a lot of situations, you saying that's going on.
I've seen it before.
Okay, see, but what I'm saying is, if you're in a relationship and you made more money than your wife, and then all of a sudden she started making more money than you, how would that make you feel?
We're winning. We're still winning.
That should be.
That's what it should be.
That's my take on it. I mean, if I go through a period of time where I'm making more money than her, and then let's just say something happens and I lose the job or get laid off or circumstances happen, and then she goes into making more money than me, we're still a team. This is still our partnership. So it's not a I, me, my mind. It's more like we, us, ours together. Like everything that we have.
Right. Here, what you got, Doc?
I think the key words that was stated was wife and husband.
Yeah.
When it comes to those two intertwined, we're together. Now if you just say boyfriend, girlfriend, hey, what you do is you, what I do, we separate.
Yeah.
When you have those vows, you're one together, and like I said, it takes the relationship, and it also takes a level of maturity. At the end of the day, no matter whose bank account it comes from, the lights are still on.
Yep.
That's right.
Sir.
The bills are paid. Our kids are not going without. We have food in the fridge, so once you are comfortable within yourself, and regardless,
He broke up on me. But another thing, we have to look at the obvious. Think about it. If her job is automatically goes higher, think about it. Some people's job top end is higher than the other job. It's automatically going to happen. So why would you put yourself in a situation where you can't handle your wife making more money than you? Evidently, that's a problem. Do you think that's low self-esteem, or are we having the wrong conversation in men groups like this? What can we do to fix the situation?
I think that we have to. I think we spoke on a little bit earlier, and I think that's why we talked about circles being key. I think you need to get in situations with like-minded people and people that will help fortify you in who you are as a positive, productive male in society. Meaning you don't have to make the most money to be a positive person to say, hey, I'm proud of what I'm doing. I think that getting in friendships and around people, or even dialoguing with colleagues, being around people that will help fortify you as being someone that is that has high esteem, that has high self-value is key in getting past those things. Because if you have that within yourself, it's never gonna matter how much money she's making. If she's high profile, some people are with women that are high profile. They're to the front all the time, and he's standing to the side in support behind her or to her side. So you just have to fortify yourself and make sure that you are built up and have self-pride to let that person shine, and know that that shine makes you shine on the inside as well.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about it, if we was more united and somewhere where that leadership still comes back in, right?
Right.
Leadership comes back in right there. If you're a true leader, it doesn't matter. You managing this thing. Manage it the right way so everything can go to. But my thing, this is another question I have. We're going to get off of this leadership thing right here. We're going to move on. But my question is this. If a man's supposed to be the leader of the woman, what happens when no one is being a leader?
The house crumbles.
Yeah. Straight up.
So that's why I challenge people when they see no one is leading. Somebody just got to take it by understand. I'm gonna lead this because it's no reason to let your relationship crumble just because nobody don't want to take the leadership role. If you truly love your spouse, somebody will lead. But if no one leads, it is true the house will crumble, right?
And
let's
course, you know,
go ahead, talk.
These are the conversations that are valid in the dating process. I feel like you know most times when couples start dating, it's the honeymoon phase. We're having all of this fun, but those conversations have to be brought up if you're thinking about taking it to that next step.
Yes, sir. You gotta have these conversations in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. Hopefully not the end, but in the beginning, the middle, and every day. Because that's another thing. Communication is key, right?
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
And you know, I think that's why we're failing at such a rate with these marriages, because we don't even take the time to know who this person is. Then by the time that new fresh car smell wears off,
you're
like, who is this person, or vice versa, and then you're looking for the exit strategy. So, you know, like you said, we're not taking the time to learn who these people are, or even learn who we are with this person and grow it together. You can all start off and be a little shaky together, but growing together, even if that means this person might grow a little slower and y'all are evolving at a different rate, but as long as the progression is moving forward, that's key.
Oh man, I got a big question coming in from Facebook. It said, how do you discuss leadership roles while dating?
I had this discussion yesterday. And I thought we agreed. Well, it's openness and honesty, having real conversations. You know, what do you want out of life? That's with anything. You know, what do you want? What is your expectations? Hey, I would like to, you know, if you could cook maybe twice a week, I would like that. You know, I'll make sure the garbage is out. Are you good with finances? How's your credit? You know, ask these questions. So I think just communicate. Go ahead.
Oh, so you just say you just have the question. You just point out, just have the question. I mean, you talk about, look, this we're gonna do it this way and that's what and the other, and that's how you go. You just flow right into it.
I was about to look at this live and say something a certain kind of way, but if you are bold enough as a person to do certain things, you should be bold enough to ask a question. If you bold enough to lay down,
yes, sir,
with this woman,
yes, sir,
and expose yourself and be free with this woman, why can you not have a conversation about what your credit look like, baby? What is, you know, it makes no sense. If you're doing all these things and being of man and woman, you should be able to have these conversations. That's easy, or should be easy, or it's important to do. Let me say it like that.
Yep.
Okay, talk to me. Keep moving.
No, I would agree. it can be as simple as just having open, honest, transparent conversations.
Mm-hmm.
It can be that simple if you want to discuss leadership. But then again, I think there's another flip side to leadership in regards to males that we need to push and continue to be the model for, is that you have to be that example. If you showing it, if you are full live, tapped into leadership mode, aligned in your purpose, it makes the conversation a lot smoother, because now they can look at you and see, okay, I see how he's moving. I see where his vision is. And it becomes now, okay, how can I help or walk side by side in whatever that is, if you choose to make those steps.
Yeah. So before I go to you, Terrence, to ask you, how do you have these discussions while dating? I'm gonna say this right here. Do you guys believe now? I believe now one of the best tactics of leadership is leading by example. Now that's me. Do you guys think that, or y'all on that mind frame?
I do. Yeah, I agree.
Most definitely.
Of course.
Example is the best way to do it. You grab hold of it and you show them, and they will follow. I believe, honestly, from the most part from my experience with mine, a woman is waiting for the man to take the leadership role.
Absolutely, 100%.
And once he grabs the leadership role, she will follow. But you have to be leading her somewhere for her to follow you. Understood?
And you know what? I want to say this. I came across this quote the other day, and I just want to say it to touch on it, and then we go jump right back off of it. But I think it said that a man that leads effectively, or if a man is leading effectively, it makes it more natural for the woman to submit to him if he's leading like that.
Yes.
That's dynamic, my friend. That's dynamic because it's true. It's simple and true. And for a while, I just thought about this thing, and I was like, how did we get here? How did I get here in my relationship? How did I assume a leadership role? It's simple. You walk in, you grab the reins, you do what you do, and she's going to follow. And when you stop leading in the right way, guess what? A real woman should do. This is what this conversation needs to get to. When your man fall off, you need to tell him that he's falling off so he can get back in line.
Yeah.
Now that's a real relationship. In my eyes now. Yeah. I'm not telling nobody else that the woman can't be the leader of this thing. But in my eyes, a man should grab that leadership thing. She gonna follow. And that does not mean that your wife is not gonna lead in certain things, because let's be real, a woman runs the house in mostly every relationship. Let's be real.
Oh yeah.
We in the house, but she running that thing and she getting it the way she want it, and that's it. But the man is the overseer. Right? Okay, Terry. So how do you have these conversations when you're dating, Doc?
Well, can we address the elephant in the room?
Let's talk about it.
Addressing the elephant in the room, we all know what it takes in terms of being an example of leadership.
Oh, yes, sir.
But the problem in our community is the young black men who don't know how to lead. So and this is just a conversation, this is just something we can elaborate on if we choose to. How do we, I guess, show men who've never been in those leadership positions, never seen a man lead before, how do we equip them to what they need to ensure that they know how to lead first, and then the woman will follow? Because if I've never seen my father lead, I've never seen black excellence around, and, naturally I'm gonna date, I'm gonna converse to certain females, but if I've never seen that, how can I have those leadership skills to one day lead this young lady?
Well, I think panels like this, right, where we're having this type of kickback we're having and broadcasting to the world, more of them need to come forward. As we were saying earlier, we need to be able to talk to younger men. you know me, I'm in a constant situation where I constantly can breathe
Yeah.
into young people. Day in and day out, and that's
Mhm.
what led me into the role that I'm in today. I love it. You know, I love it. I love being able to help the young community coming up, but others have to take their job as that role as well.
Exactly.
And if we continue to do that and show them that, look, we show people so many other things, but show them that it's okay for a man to be a leader, a husband, a successful businessman, and all that in the bowl. See, we sometimes, let's be real about it. We get it in those situations of success, and we're afraid to show our success. But that's what we need to do. We need to show our success and show it without bragging. You see what I'm saying? Show it without bragging, but in a helpful way. And that's how that young man can learn to say, well, Pete Farley came from this situation, and Peter's a real one. You see what I'm saying? And he gonna let you know the real deal instead of saying, "Oh, your pants sagging. Oh, you going with her? You ain't calling her. Oh, that's cool." See, we're afraid to have those conversations.
Right.
Well, I think one thing, Pete, that happens is this. In our community, when wrong is done, we don't hold each other accountable.
Oh no, sir. No, sir. It's
We don't
not.
hold, but I can say as a community, we don't.
No.
Now, I'm that friend. If you're my friend and you're not doing right, I'm gonna tell you. If I see something that's going to be detrimental to you, I care for you enough. If you're my friend, you're like my brother. So I would not want my brother to step out and I know something's going to happen to him. So I think one thing that helps is amongst our age group, is holding others accountable. It's not getting in their business, but if you so happen to tell me that, hey, you doing this, you doing that, hey man, that's not cool. You won't want that, why are you doing it? I think that we don't check each other in a manner, and we allow the problem to continue and sometimes celebrate the problems that are happening, which lead to the downgrade of the households in our community oftentimes. And that's what the young people see. And the generational curses happen, and it trickles down and permeates down to the lower level. So sometimes I think we need to really check ourselves. So we are perpetuating an image that is on point and on 10 at all points in time, because it's not hard being it's very hard, being a black man in America. So we have to be exceptional, or being black in America, we have to be exceptional at all times, in all things. It's a cross we have to bear. But I think that's one thing that we don't do, is push that narrative. We need to change the narrative.
And another thing I think we don't do in our community is we don't hold our black men accountable. I used this scenario once before. A gunshot goes off in the community. Somebody is killed.
Right.
Nobody saw anything.
And I always stated this. I said, you're looking for that killer, you're looking for that murderer, that victim, or you're looking for somebody. And there are 3 places you can find that gentleman. His mama house.
Right.
Now, he didn't just commit a crime, but what is mama gonna say?
That's my baby.
Come on, baby. You can just hide out here for a second.
Right.
Baby mama house, girlfriend house, wife house. That's always has been a cycle that's been going on. Instead of saying you messed up, you go deal with it. No, come on, baby. And that goes a lot. I've seen that a lot in our the upbringing of our young black men. Is they make a mistake, is no, I'm gonna hold you accountable for it so you can learn from it. It's I don't want you to go down the same path that your dad went through. I don't want you to go down the same path as your big brother. So I'm gonna put a bandage over it and we'll move on from this. And the child never learned. And then when he turns 16, 17, and 18, the law is gonna put your child in handcuffs because he wasn't taught those essential skills when he was 7, 8, 9 years old, because you always wanted to protect him. Until we start holding our young, old, all our black men accountable,
Mhm.
society is not going to change. Yes, you have 3 kids, and yes, you're going to take care of all 3 of them. We're not gonna let you get off the hook, and it starts with our women making sure that the black men are doing what they're supposed to do, not just sweeping it under the rug. I always have stated this, and I'll let you continue with your question. I said the black woman, or the woman in general, is the most powerful person in the world. Let me tell you this. If every black woman in this world say, I only want to date a lawyer, and stay true to that, how many black men would say, hey, I can't get with it, so
I'm going to be a lawyer.
I got to become a lawyer.
Yeah.
I look at the guys with the pants sagging and want to be out in the streets. That's because that's what the black women like.
Yes, sir. That's a big
when a black woman uphold us to a higher standard, the black man has no other choice, or the man in period has no other choice but to meet you at that standard. But when you make the standard pants sagging, being disrespectful, running the streets, that's what they like, this is what our young black boys see. He gets all the women, he gets all of this. That's what I want to be. But when they start holding us to the highest standard, then we will most definitely meet them there, if it's consistent.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think the woman needs to hold the man more accountable in every relationship. I just talked on it. If you're gonna be a leader and you fall off, your woman got to tell you need to get back on board.
Exactly.
If you get out and do so many different things, the woman should be there saying, "Look, I'm not gonna take this." It's so many things that a woman do play a pivotal role in. In the relationship, whether we're saying she's the leader or not, she's the backbone of the family. She's right there now. Behind every successful man, normally is a good woman. So pushing them, boy, go ahead, boy, do your thing. But we gotta, as we talked about earlier with the money thing, sometimes we gotta reverse the roles and get behind her and say, girl, go ahead, do your thing.
Right. Agree.
But I do feel now, if we continue on the road as we're having these type of conversations, more successful relationships can come forward and will go forward. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Most definitely.
So we're gonna move right on. I got one right there.
Hold on. Can I say one thing? I just want to harp on.
Put it in there. Put it in there, Doc. Put it in there.
One point. Everything that you all said, I 100% agree with. I think that black women can have an influence on us. I think that for those men that are able to go out here and elevate themselves and be blessed enough to put in positions and opportunities where they can give back, I think that they have a tremendous impact as well. But sometimes I believe that a huge fraction of this comes back on self-accountability.
Yes.
And the reason that I say that is because sometimes even within myself, I think that it can be very challenging to be something that you can't see or that's not modeled in front of you. And so like my question to that becomes, okay, well, what happens if, how many excuses will you give yourself? How many excuses will you give yourself? Or what happens when the person that you were looking up to or that you had expectations or high hopes in, what happens when that person goes away? Then what?
You have to be self-motivated, not to cut you off. You have to be self-motivated because, can go wrong, will go wrong in most situations. Let's be real about it. Yeah. You prepare for the test as much as you could. You failed the test. You went to the job. You wore everything they wanted you to wear. Your resume is on point. This and that. What happens when everything go wrong? You have to be self-motivated to pick yourself back up. Right?
Right.
Because sometimes when you go through those type of situations, and what you're referring to, my friend, is you can't hear from no woman. You can't hear from your parents. You can't hear from your mentor. You can't hear from your pastor. You need yourself to tell yourself to get back up and get back on this thing and get the move. Right? So being self-motivated at some point in your life, it got to click in. The light bulb got to turn on. That's just real.
I agree.
If you're gonna be successful, motivation, it gotta come in somewhere, right?
I agree.
You gotta be self-motivated.
I agree.
Okay, I like that, Doc. I like that, Doc. I like that. Anything else?
No, that's it. I just had to slide that in there before you went on to the next question.
Hey, man, guys, I'm really enjoying you tonight. I'm really, really enjoying you tonight. So we're gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna ask you guys this right here. See, now we're getting on into what you don't have on your paper.
I was about to say those questions you did not send.
So my question to you guys is this right here. What is your number one, not number two, not number three. What's your number one deal breaker in a relationship?
No passion, no motivation, and you don't want anything. And all those passion, motivation, you have to be aspiring or working towards something. You know, it has to be continuous goals. If this goal is, I want to be the most, productive member of the team this week, I'm not saying that you have to say that you want to be the president of the United States, but it has to be some kind of goals that you're looking to. You have to have a vision yourself. We can have a household vision, but you have to have your own personal vision. And if you don't have that, that doesn't align with me. So it has to be in alignment with what I'm going to do. So that's my deal breaker.
No passion.
No passion. You don't see where you're going. You can't see past the tip of your nose. That's not working. That's not going to work.
That's a deal breaker. It won't work with you. Is that what you
tell me?
If you have no passion, no vision, it won't work with you?
It will not work.
Okay, Mr. Anderson, what is your number one deal break? I mean the number one, not number two or number three. What's number one?
Hang on, let me think on it one more time. I want to pass this one on to Terrence right quick. Then come on back to it.
Okay. Keep thinking. Tell me what you got, Doc.
Of course, passion, not motivated, but ultimately, just a lack of being open-minded.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we're gonna have those conversations. We're gonna experience so much, but I want you to always look at my view, look at this view. Don't look at the glass as half empty. Look at it as full.
Oh yeah,
half full. If you want to achieve this, don't be so blindsided. Go for it. If I have an opinion about this in a relationship where I don't think you cook enough, don't shun me out. Listen to what I think. Let's have a respectful conversation about it, and let's come to some kind of common agreement. And I think ultimately, when your partner is
okay, we broke up there. You there, Terrence?
You lost him,
Come back. We lost you for a second. Come back. Okay, Brandon, what you got?
All right. All right. I like the topics that you have touched on. A lack of being open-mindedness and a lack of passion. For me, two of them came to mind. All right, because I'm a go-getter. I am very goal-oriented. I am very ambitious in my endeavors, and it's going to take someone that's understanding of that and can also match and push me in the same regard.
Yeah.
So, I definitely, I mean, I think you both of you kind of already touched on it. I need someone. You have to have a vision for yourself. I want you to be able to do something for yourself. Have to have some type of ambition for yourself. And then the second one that came to mind, a deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
I want to say, well, I'm gonna say this. I know how the pattern of lies. Okay, it's like normally if one lie happens, it builds up and becomes multiple lies.
Right, yes, sir.
And lying is just one thing that I just was raised. Just don't lie.
Yeah.
Just don't lie. And sometimes I would definitely say I recommend open, full transparency, communication. But now one thing that would just trip me up is if you lie to me on a
Consistent basis.
small to big matter, because it's a range in that.
So you said not being truthful is your number one deal breaker.
Yeah, that's one.
So you said passion and
ambition.
Ambition.
Yeah, gotta have some ambition.
You know, a lot of those things that we talk on right there is like automatic when you choose that one woman that she's going to be your wife or your significant other. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get somebody that automatically match your fly, right? Yep. You're definitely going to get somebody that match you on those situations. But my number one deal breaker with anyone would be a failure to show love in the forms in which I show it to you.
Love languages.
If your love language is not matching mine, if I'm loving you harder than you loving me, you know, that's a deal breaker for me right there. That's the number one deal breaker, because at the end of the day, let me tell you something. When the emotion is gone, the relationship is gone.
Yeah.
If you come in and tell your wife that you love her and she doesn't reciprocate that back, I love you too. If you go to get a kiss and that kiss is not right there coming back, what do you guys have? You can have all the other stuff, but if that right there is not reciprocated, what do you have?
A roommate.
You have no bond. You have a roommate. I like that. So that's my number one deal breaker. I need somebody to show me the same love that I'm giving out. Give it back to me. And if you don't, that's my number one deal breaker. Because I'm already touching feelings. If I grab you right there, you grab me somewhere. If I kiss you right there, you kiss me somewhere. Do you feel where I'm going with that thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's my number one deal breaker, though. That's just real.
Nah, that's real. That's some real marriage nuggets.
Yeah.
Marriage nuggets for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when I'm talking on this level of this right here, once you get to a certain state, you're gonna pick a woman who want high things. If you want high things, if you're going so far with, you only gonna get one who want high things. You understand what I'm saying? If you're passionate about being the best, you gonna get one that can match you right in there. So, but when they can't match you right there with that love, man, come on, man, it's over. You know, the emotion, it got to be in there, you know. So, Terrence, do you want to add anything? Because you kind of cut out. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you.
Yeah.
He cutting out on me again, but I think he was agreeing. I think he
we definitely agree. You definitely, I mean, everyone touched on a big one, and you definitely brought it home with that same love language, because we can all
that love language is deep. Yes, sir. And you know, I mean, I'm on here. I've been married. I know the longest. If you know, you guys gonna get married and been married. But one thing about it, that's the one thing you really have to look into when you find someone.
That's very true. That's very true.
I'm telling you now.
I can attest to that. I can attest to that.
Okay. Keep it moving. This is a great one question I have for you guys. We're gonna hit it just like this. Is it easier to forgive or forget? Is it easier to forgive or forget?
I can't forget. I can forgive and just keep it moving. So, you know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a firecracker type personality. So it's easy for me just to say, okay, let's just move forward, and for me to leave it alone. But I'm not gonna forget.
Yeah,
I agree. I think it's very hard to forget and act.
Yeah,
that can be in any regard, like any example on the spectrum. I just think it's hard to forget and act. But I think the best thing to do is just to, like he said, forgive. Something happens in a situation, you know, forgive that person, and then just wipe it clean and move forward.
I definitely agree with both gentlemen. It's much easier to forgive, but forgetting
doesn't exist.
Because it's a thing of emotion. You,
It
if
happened,
especially if
right?
it
It
makes you
happened.
feel a certain kind of way,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't you
yeah.
don't forget a feeling. If it
I
made you
echo.
feel a certain kind of way, you will never forget the way somebody made you feel. You forget what she said, but you'll
Right.
never forget how you felt in that moment.
So, all you guys agree that it's impossible to forget?
I think it'll fade with time.
Yes. Great response. Great
It's a
response.
process.
Yeah, it's a process. That's the timing process.
So, okay, tell me this: if something was done to hurt you, do you think you can forgive it and forgive it enough to move on in a relationship?
You got to put some specificity on that. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
what
I
we
know.
talking about?
Well, I mean, okay, tell me this right here. I know most people don't like to talk on this. Infidelity. Can you forgive infidelity?
Personally, I cannot, because I know that me personally and the man I am, that's something that I'm not gonna do, because I can't imagine. I know how it would make me feel, and it would take me mentally. So if
Mm-hmm.
that's what it would do to me, I could not do that to someone else. That's just me personally, especially in a marriage.
Yeah.
I could not do that. No.
So in a marriage, you could not forgive infidelity in the marriage.
No.
I think that's a deal breaker. I think, once that happens in a marriage, that's it. I can't forgive you.
Okay, what you got, Mr. Anderson?
I'm not married. All right. So so with that, my views on marriage are a little bit different.
Okay.
And I think that's a really good question, because like what happens, I don't know. I guess things happen in marriage. How common is that? How common is infidelity in marriage on both parties?
I think it's quite common, more than people think. It's quite common now. More than people may think. It's quite common, I would believe, because you think of the things we hear. We hear about this so much. So it's quite common, right?
I agree. And in that, I think that the light in which I view marriage, because marriage goes beyond just you. Like what happens when you have kids and you go out here and, let's say something happens and people slip up, make mistakes, get off track, get unfocused. I'll tell you one thing I know for a fact. If you have kids and if you have kids in a marriage like that, a divorce affects generations to come.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that.
So I mean, if there's anything that, granted, I mean, I'm a man. I've been cheated on, and it's just kind of one of those things. I've handled it in both regards. Like I've had situations where it's just like, okay, cut it off. I don't want to deal with it. Versus you had some people that's just like, okay, just sidetrack, or you got selfish. You wanted to do something. Same thing with me too. Same thing with me too. And I just think that is circumstantial. I think that it's circumstantial.
That's the point I want to drive in right there. Everybody say what they won't do till they get in the situation, right? And I think it's circumstantial. It depends on the situation, what's going on in your life, what happened. For a woman who to just be flagrant, born just a righteous cheater, just no reason, it just bluntly does it. I think that's automatically a point of no return. But it's normally a lead up to things when it comes to a real woman. It's normally a lead up to things that you have done. You have shunned her, or you've no longer put your amount of whatever into the relationship. So on that level, when it comes from you, the pushing off what you doing, what do you think in that situation?
We need to talk about, if it's gotten to that point where you want to seek out attention from someone else, that's where that openness and communication. Just tell me, am I going to be ogre? If I'm ogre in the relationship, let me know so I can check myself. Because what happens when you step out and do something outside of character, my mind, I'm a mental person. So I'm very creative. So my mind is going to always be there and imagine things that's going to take, can't forget. You
Yeah.
know, so which
You
two?
told me to hold up before you go.
Yeah,
You said with time it will fade. Did you or did you not say that?
I did say that. I did say that, but I want to jump on a key that Brandon was saying. He was saying that that
When kids
that
are
that that,
involved.
that when the kids are involved. Thank
Yeah.
you, and about possibly staying with the situation. But if you know that that situation has turned you toxic, it
Mm.
might be worse for you to stay in that marriage and the children go through even more. You know, who wants to have their
Yeah.
children in a household of purity hell?
See now, I'm not. Now, before I let you go, Brandon. Now, I do say now, if it has got to the point that it's toxic, it's better to me. I believe it's better to leave because you don't want to hurt your children to that
Hmm.
level. And if Stan is hurting them instead of seeing you guys constantly arguing, yes, it's a time to go. But sometimes you got to sit in and try to work that thing out. It's different forms of ways to work things out. Counseling is definitely a form that, in the Black community, we look over. Counseling can help. You
Hmm.
can sit down and have counseling, and it will help. But we shun counseling. We got to stop shunning counseling. Do we all agree with that? Everybody,
I do agree. I
I
do
agree.
agree.
we got to stop shunning counseling because counseling is definitely a resource that can
Oh
help
yeah.
in every situation, right?
Hmm. I agree.
And okay, so Mr. Anderson, talk to me. What you had to say?
Well, like I said, and that's why I had to make that disclaimer because I'm not married, and I just can only imagine what it would be like when it
Hmm.
gets to that point in time. But I just really think that, and I know this for a fact. I know that it's, and I'm not trying to bash men, but I just know because I am one, and I felt it on both sides of the story. I've felt the emotions on both sides of the fence.
Right,
I know what it feels like to cheat on, and I know what it feels like to be cheated on. And one thing
right.
that I know, it's hard for men to accept that because we have a like you said, Mario. You said like it's hard for us to get past that thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Yeah.
somebody else is, we on Facebook. It's just having an encounter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the biggest things versus like women. It's really easier for them to do it because it's like okay, we may have slipped up. And it's just like it didn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? I just got off track, and she'll just be like, okay, well, get it back together, whatever. Like I said, it's circumstantial.
Okay, hold up, hold that thought. I'm gonna come back.
Okay.
To you on that thought. I'm gonna flip back to Taryn. Taryn, you said that you could. That will be a deal breaker for you. So okay, let's talk on it from the perspective that Brandon gave when he said if kids are involved, would that make you rethink of things a little more? If it was just maybe just she didn't. It was one of the consistent cheating thing. Maybe she slipped up and what would you think on that one?
I just think if I can't, and this is just one of my core values.
Yeah.
If I can't do anything to as efficiently and efficiently and effective as possible, I don't want to be a part of it. And I know if I go through that trust
Yeah.
is gone.
Right.
I'm gonna look at you differently.
Right.
I may not say anything, but my thought process, I'll start thinking thoughts. I start handling things a little bit differently, and I won't have the compassion and passion that I've always had in my marriage. If this occurs with children involved, of course, I'm gonna love my children. I'm gonna continue to love my wife. But if I can't do it as effective as possible, I cannot continue in the marriage. But I'll continue to be a father.
Okay, I understand. I still understand. So would you at least give so if she does it's for you, without a doubt, you won't get a counseling or try nothing. It's over.
Oh yeah, we'll go through a process. We'll go through a process.
You will try a process instead
of most definitely. Because one thing I don't want to do is act on emotions. I want to be as logic as possible. Yeah, let's talk about it, and that's what Marius mentioned beforehand about. That's the importance of seeking clarity.
Yes.
So, from the beginning, if I'm shunning you, if I'm not paying attention to you, tell me. Maybe I'm going through something at work that I hadn't spoke about yet. Let's find out where the core is coming from, and then we can tackle on things going forward. But yes, I'll try anything to work through that process.
Okay. So let's talk about this right here. On the flip side of things, if you cheated, should you be forgiven?
No. It's the same way. And I'll understand if I'm not forgiven. If she if she say I cannot forgive you, I definitely understand, and I will want us to go through the process. And if we can't maneuver and get things right, then it'll be best to just go our separate ways, continue to be parents to our children, and continue to try to keep everything as professional as possible within the relationship that we have going forward, to make sure our children aren't affected by it tremendously.
Talk to me, Mr. Anderson.
I saw that head drop.
No, so this is just my take on it. Like, when it comes to cheating, infidelity, and stuff like that, especially when it comes to marriage or just serious relationships in general, like, you see what the outcome, you see what the backlash or the outcome of what's to come from that. So with that, when you really get to that point where you're really serious, or you about to go down to the altar and make your vows before people, like, you need to be in a space mentally where you're beyond that point. You're beyond, and I just say you just need to avoid all that cheating. Okay, that's my take on it. You just need to avoid all of that, because I think I say that to say that's the best way to avoid this entire situation. However, living in this world, things happen. All right?
Yeah.
Things happen. I know some good men out here that are some great fathers, that are some great workers on their job, that just get distracted and just want to, just have one encounter where it's just like, oops,
one encounter,
an opportunity presented itself. And like I said, once again, I think it all comes back, it comes back to like just being circumstantial. Like, people aren't perfect. Of course, no one wants to be cheated on. No one wants to, have their spouse go out here and creep on them. But what happens if it does happen? Then what? How do you, like, those are what I think, like, are the true challenges to marriage, when you reach those hard, troubling, challenging situations where you have to, like, work through and really, like, get to the core of, like, you all's true vows with one another, and decide, look each other in the face and see, okay, how are we going to move forward beyond this? And I think it goes hand in hand. So that way, and like I say this, I'm not married, but I'm only thinking of these things, I can only imagine these situations. So, that's just my take on it.
I do think, you can do a lot of talking until you in a situation.
Yeah.
We would definitely say that. We can definitely say that, and we were talking on what we think we would do. But when you're in that situation, sometimes it may stay the same, it may change.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed you guys on here tonight, man. You guys have really, really, really helped me, let me learn. I learned some stuff, and hopefully y'all learned some stuff. Hopefully we gave some people some good knowledge out.
Yeah.
So, but now it's a few words. I heard while we was having these discussing, and I want when I say the word, I just want to give me the first thing that comes to your mind when I say this: cheating.
Damn.
Quick. I mean, I need them quick. What's cheating? What's up? Talk to me.
Conclusion.
Okay.
Hurt.
What you got, B?
Yeah, I mean, pain, betrayal.
And what you think, Terrence?
Hurt.
Okay, counseling.
Hidden secret.
Positive.
Needed.
And what you say, B?
Hidden secret.
COVID-19.
Life changing.
New world order.
Yeah.
What you got, Terrence? New world order?
Humility.
Oh, that's a good one.
patience. What first thing you think about when it comes to patience?
It's a virtue.
Mm.
Mm.
You got
Personally,
anything?
need to work on it.
Okay, what you got, Doc?
Learning.
Okay, giving back.
Mandatory.
Essential.
Whoo! Talk to me. What you got, Mario?
Purpose.
Purpose. Okay, one more. Clarity. Talk to me about clarity.
Continue to seek it.
Okay.
Defining.
Okay.
Effective.
It's definitely effective, defining, and seeking. You must have clarity before you go into anything, or get out anything. Okay, last question I have for you guys. What is your legacy? What is your legacy?
Well, for me, I've always worked in the I'm just going personal career wise, right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I'm pouring into career wise. I've always worked in the HBCU space, in communications and marketing. So I feel like if no one tells our story, who will?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very important to tell that story effectively. So I feel like it's a personal mission for me to make sure that our institutions are here serving our community for a very long time. And anything that I can do to progress that cause of our schools, that's my mission and that's my purpose. And that's what's driving me every day.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me, Dr. Anderson. What you got for me?
Legacy. I'm up second. All right.
Yes,
so
sir.
Legacy to me, right now, I'm in the field of education / physical therapy / personal training and skill development.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to do with that, I really want to just continue to grow and become as refined and polished in all areas of my life, both spiritual, professional, individual, financial, emotional, mental, and really be that example for those to come, whether that be my offspring or whether that be young people that look like me, minorities that look like me, and just continue to just be a vessel in order to pour into them. So that their lives can be greater based off of the experiences that I've had. Be a good father and husband in due time, but we're not going to rush that. We're just going to keep living day by day, okay?
Hey, when it comes, you do your thing, Doc. I'm telling
That's
you.
right.
Let's go, T.
Once again, just like these fine gentlemen in the field of education, I live by 2 words. Why not? And I often tell my staff that
every time he finna give me the good, he jump out. I need it. I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, legacy, when I think of legacy, it's something you're leaving.
I think I lost connection.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. We all have these complaints. We all have these moments. And I always tell them, why not? Why can't we get that done?
Mm-hmm.
We know what the problem is, so let's form the solution.
Mm-hmm.
You may have to get out your comfort zone to achieve what you have to do, but every successful person who has ever walked this earth had to go through something to get to where they are.
Right.
They had to be uncomfortable to get there.
Absolutely.
So if you can't get in touch with this parent, why not? Did you go to the house?
Yes.
Do you know this parent work? If this parent works at Burger King, let's go to Burger King and make sure she signed this form.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we're setting a foundation for generations to come. And our Black community is in a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot have any excuses if we want to manifest through this.
Right.
we want to make sure we're laying the foundation for generations to come, and we want to make sure we're doing it as efficient as possible. So let's not make the excuses. Let's make sure we come up with as many solutions as we can, and let's make sure we get it done because it can be done.
Yeah, as like I was saying, I like that, Doc. I like everything you guys said. But as for me, what I want is someone to say about Pete, the legacy he left is everything he touched, every situation he touched, he made it better. That's what I want to leave on earth. They said I want them to say that he left this world a better place than when he first came in. So if that's my legacy, that's the legacy I want to lead. I want everyone, and I want everyone else to take. Just make the situation you're in better once you encounter it. So when you walk out that room, he said, he made this group a better place. He made this pattern a better place. He made worshiping a better place. He made living a better place. You know, he made the barbershop a better place. No matter where I go, I just want to make it a better place than it was before I walked in the door. And that's the legacy I want to leave on earth. Making it a better place. And if I can do that, I did my life's work. My life work is to be a servant. I believe that. I'm a servant of the people. I'm a servant of my God's people. And that's what I want to leave. That's my legacy. That's that.
I like that.
And I really enjoyed you guys tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any final thoughts that you guys want to say? If you want to give your social media, anything you're doing, anything you got, talk to me right here before we end this thing.
I just want to thank you for having this kickback, having this panel. I think this is really cool, you know, just to see some familiar faces and meet some new people on this, and just have meaningful conversations during this time. I hope to those that were listening, you know, hopefully it was, you know, some good conversation. Hopefully you were able to take some nuggets away from it, make your life better. But first and foremost, just big thanks to you, Pete, for, you know, inviting me out to be a panelist, man. And I really appreciate the opportunity.
Big ups, babe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to echo that. You know, Pete, I think that these are great opportunities to express positive views. You know, it's so much on the social media space that is foolish and, you know, coonish of us that's out there, you know, if I can say that. But it's good to have some positive imagery, positive messaging out there to kind of suppress the noise. And I appreciate you, you know, considering me and welcoming on with these two esteemed gentlemen.
All right, Terrence.
Once again, thank you, Pete. This is great. This is what we need. Great panel, two well-spoken gentlemen. I want you to continue this. But of course, I want to challenge each and every one of us going forward, because one thing we have done in the Black community recently, we've had the conversations. But there hasn't been any action behind it. So what I'm gonna do after this is I'm gonna during this COVID-19 dilemma that's going on, I'm gonna heavily mentor a student who may be in high school, who may be in middle school, who need guidance during this time, because this could be overwhelming experience for that person as well. So I challenge each of us to make sure we reach back and give back. You know, saying the right things is always good, but make sure we're leading by example is even better. So once again, I just want to say thank you.
Sure.
Oh,
sure.
man. I really thank you guys for when I got with you guys. Y'all came right along. It's something I've been wanting to do, and I finally got together. You know, I'm gonna have different forms of this. You know, I gotta get in my sports thing because you know we rock with that too. So we're gonna definitely keep it moving. But what I want everybody to do is make sure you guys, once I'm gonna give it to you guys and y'all promote it. Tell everybody about our YouTube, what's coming out of your mouth.
Mhm.
You know, tell them about our Facebook. Get them over there to liking our Facebook. Our Facebook, what's coming out of your mouth. You can follow me on Instagram at Pete Cuts, and you can see it right there. You can follow me right there. You can follow me on Facebook at Pete Fairley. Make sure you like our Facebook page, though, man. We trying to promote that thing. We trying to promote this to a high level. But now, if you guys know me and you watch our podcast, you know what time it is. So we got to pray before we get out of here. That's how we roll, and that's how I rock. So let us all pray. Oh, gracious and heavenly eternal Father, I just come to you right now, Lord Jesus, saying thank you, Lord. Father God, I just thank you for you being you, God, you all by yourself, Father God. Father God, I just thank you for the first edition of the Kickback, Father God. I have said it has been a success, Father God. I hope that you found all the praise and all the glory, right, Father God. I just thank you for the young men who came on, Father God. They spoke well, Father God. They did exactly what I wanted them to do, Father God. I just thank you for blessing me to be able to be surrounded by men of such status, Father God. Men of such honor or such courage, Father God, to be able to get out in front of the line and say, I am this person and I do lead this life, Father God, and I want to take a stance right now, Father God. I just thank you for each and one of them, Father God. I just ask that you bless them, Father God. Bless everything that they're going through, everything they got their hands assigned to, Father God. I just want you to bless them, Lord. I just push them up to you. Father God, I just rise them up to you right now, Father God. I just ask that you continue to bless the platform that we're using, Father God, that it can help somebody, Father God. If nobody would help but one person, Father God, we'll be so ever grateful just to give you all the praise that one person got a word tonight. One nugget. If one thing was said, Father God, and one person said, I'm going to be a better man, I'm going to be a better husband, I might be a better wife. If something positive, one positive thing came out, we did our job, Father God. Like, I just thank you, Father God, for this what's coming out of your mouth podcast. The energy that is flowing from it is being positive. It's reaching people that we never thought it would, Father God. We just thank you, Lord, for all the blessings you have done. Father God, before I leave this podcast, I wouldn't dare forget to pray for our nation, Father God, and the situation that we're going through right now, Father God, as this pandemic, Father God. Continue to touch us and guide us through it, Father God, that we can walk by faith and not by sight, Father God. Father God, we just ask that you go through everything as you always do with us, Father God. We ask you that you forgive us for our sins, Father God. These blessings I ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Oh man, I just thank all you guys for what you did, and this has been the first edition of the Kickback. Deuces. What's coming out of your mouth? What's coming out of your mouth? What's coming out of your